Joining us now is Paul Murray, host of Paul Murray Live here at Sky News Australia. Thank you so much for joining us on such a sad day. The news that we can't believe. Our hearts are absolutely shattered. Charlie Kirk dead at 31. I mean, Paul, we're all feeling it absolutely. But can you speak to the significance of this in America?
Well, I think, to millions of people around the world, the impact of this is going to be similar to the feelings of people around the Titanic figures of the 1960s, right? Now, that will inevitably be misquoted as me suggesting that somewhere on the Washington Mall they should be building a monument. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about millions of people connected with their thoughts, their feelings, their politics, and having that validated and having that channeled through people like Charlie Kirk. His capacity at that time, in particularly in and around sort of 21, 22, when we're coming out of COVID, when we're kind of at peak woke, for him to go into the belly of the beast that is the university campus and to take on all comers was fun to look at in your algorithm, and then it was inspiring because you saw a person engaging. You didn't see somebody cowering. And in many of the conversations that have happened today around Charlie Kirk, there's one in particular from his friend, colleague and a co-host on a podcast and Real America's Voice in Jack Posobiec. And he was talking about how he was aware of the security risk that a very open event like this was, but he didn't want a physical barrier. He wanted to have that openness, and that commitment to the debate has created a vulnerability that some bastard has used to kill him, for that footage to be seen around the world, for those kids that were in the audience. And I think that the trauma that we're all feeling and you're showcasing beautifully right now is because a generational figure who inspired you, who turned you onto an idea, who turned you on to how your values can match your politics and how your politics can change the world, to have that taken from us is something that hurts because you loved it, hurts because he did something special. And his legacy is too early to be discussed, but it is right up there with, as I said, those Titanic figures of the 60s that millions of people still have posters on their wall for.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, he was such an influential, inspiring figure. And I love the way he could talk about politics, debate all issues, but then he would also fearlessly talk about his love of family. And we are absolutely praying for his wife and his children and everyone who loved Charlie so much. But I want to play this video that Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, posted on July 4 just this year, and I'll just quickly read you some of what she wrote in her post. She wrote, "On days like today, when the skies erupt in red, white and blue, and the air hums with the sound of freedom, I find myself especially grateful for the man I call my husband. I love how much he loves this country. He believes that the freedoms we celebrate today are worth defending every day." Take a look at this.
Wow.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain.
Paul, I mean, we're all just feeling for his family so much, but he shared so much about his family, his love of America. And in that post, he also wrote, "Today, I thank God for freedom. I thank God for the gift of this nation. I thank God for a husband who day in and day out gives everything he has to defend it. Happy birthday, America. May we never take you for granted. I love you, Charlie Kirk." I mean, just looking at Erica's feed and Charlie's feed. They were so proud of one another, and I think one of the amazing things about Charlie is he also inspired a younger generation about how the American dream is still achievable, to get married, to have children, to have a home, you know, to fight for your country and the values that really matter and what's most important in life.
The dad in me is breaking inside as I can see the shine in your eyes, and I'm trying not to look at you as well. Again, this man who they say, you know, was always contactable, always aggressive, always about going off and achieving his goal. And, you know, the term 24/7 is used about someone like that. You know, in the middle of the night, the middle of the day, you get the best of them. Again, his friend Jack was saying today that he was 24/6 because apparently Saturdays were exclusively for family. That if it was urgent, you contacted his wife, but you knew to stay away on Saturday because while he gave all of the rest of the week to the cause, all the rest of the week to the public, that time was with his family. And the fact that his kids are so little that at some point their memory fades of what dad was like to hug, what dad was like to make you laugh, being so little, and there's all of this footage and there's all this video that means they'll be able to see how great their father was. There's something really special in knowing that how few years he had with those children, that priority once a week was to clear the decks. Like the president wasn't going to call you, he wasn't going to be distracted, it was about your family. And for all of us, we would dream of a relationship like that with our fathers or as fathers with our children. And in the end, Gab, that's what all of it's about, right? The whole reason why you choose to get involved in the fight is to try to fight for a better place for the people who come next. And you might only move the ball an inch in your life. Well, Charlie Kirk was able to take it all the way downfield, right? Remember, he was, through Turning Point USA, through that connection with young voters, in the 2024 campaign, they were hired by the Trump campaign to do get out the vote. So this wasn't just somebody who was sharp with his tongue, great with the clicks, all the rest of it. He also built a machine that was able to put Trump back as president, and that means change the world.
Absolutely.
That's an incredible thing that those kids will one day learn about their father. The emptiness of not having their father is something none of us can get our head around. But that's why I talk about this day as being one that if you get it, you really get why today matters.
100%. And he was instrumental. I mean, having Trump hire him, and then we saw the result, the Gen Z voters coming out to vote Republican like never before. Now, you have spoken with Megyn Kelly, and we are feeling for her too. You know, a close friend of her, Charlie Kirk was, of course, a close friend. They were meant to go on the road together in just 2 weeks' time. Let's look at her reaction when she was on air today.
They're reporting that Charlie has died. That he's dead at the age of 31. Which he would have to be if that video was real.
There's no way he survived that. The only good thing is, it had to have happened quickly.
Right. Right.
Paul, now you've spoken with Megyn. She's going to be on your show later tonight. I mean, we're all feeling that emotion, but you can't fake that. It's so raw.
No, and I mean, in her live stream today, it was unbelievable to watch. When she's immediately come up on the live stream to say Charlie had been shot, and then as the news gets worse, she's doing it all in real time. There's no cutaways, there's no putting of footage over, this absolute raw reaction. At points she was in her own live stream saying, I hope this video isn't even true. You could see her trying to process. And then in that moment when She's talking with Glenn Beck. She's talking with a whole bunch of really significant people who had been part of Turning Point USA events.
Yeah.
She's going out on the road soon, and Charlie Kirk was supposed to be there. We talk about her approach to security and what she has to do now. And also just I approached the conversation with her about a friend because I considered her to be my friend. And you know, it's good that in this program you've been able to have a look at some of the ghouls and the weirdness that happens further out, and there are going to be people that are going to say much nastier things as the days roll on. But for us to have the proximity that we do to people like Megan means the world, because they are, again, they're not just observers, they're participants, and they're participants in a revolution that we and you watching believe is one of the greatest things that have happened this century.
Yeah.
So it's again privileged to call her a friend, and that video will be up soon on our website.
And you know, I was listening to her, and she makes a point about security and what a risk it is. She's been out on the road with Charlie Kirk before, and you know, Trump of course has his security. Ben Shapiro has his security around him. Charlie Kirk does as well. And then this is just such a tragedy. Finally, before I let you go, as you say, plenty of horrible stuff getting spewed out there at the moment from left-wing media outlets. You know, it's so frustrating to seeing him being labelled as this right-wing activist. He was so much more than that. But let's look at this coverage from ABC.
Charlie Kirk has been shot during an event at Utah Valley University. The founder of Turning Point USA, a conservative student organization, is known for his outspoken views on politics, culture, religion, often taking his messages to colleges and universities, sparking sometimes pretty heated debates on campus.
You're right. His presence there at the university had divided the campus, according to an article in the school paper, where there were people on both sides debating whether he should even be allowed to bring his message, often loyal to the agenda of President Trump, to campus. But he was speaking at this outdoor event in a courtyard. We've seen some video of that event. A shot rings out. The entire crowd goes scattering.
I mean, do they even listen to him? I mean, what is he talking about? Should he even be allowed to bring his message?
These people, and look, I know I can swear, but I'm not going to, out of respect for the situation, right? F these people, truly.
Well said.
Remember their names, remember what they work for, remember if they're suspended, remember if they're not sacked. F these people, because the reality is that, and again, I don't want to sit here and list a whole bunch of people on the left, right, who are the equivalents of, right? The whole point is, no one deserves to die for talking about what they believe in. No one deserves to die for that reason. And the fact that you see in the reporting the lack of humanity, you see in Twitter the lack of humanity, if you can't see that somebody was murdered for what they believe, for speaking their mind, and that is a moment of dark regret, then F you. Just seriously F you.
Paul Murray, well said. Can't believe we have to say it. Paul Murray, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour.
Love ya.
It's brilliant to have you.
Love you.